Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. In today's video, we are doing one that has been much requested over the last couple of weeks. The best super subs to use on FIFA 23. Now, super subs are going to be very dependent on your budget, the level of team you've got. If you're running a 200k team, you're not going to have a sub on the bench worth 50 to 100k. If you're running an 8 to 10 mil team like mine, you might have some more expensive subs. Also, old gen versus new gen is going to affect it. So, like, one of the players who will be later in this list is the Informed Soloff. On old gen, I wouldn't be using him. On new gen, he is really good. And when I get to these players, I will explain it. I've started to play old gen as my only way of playing on my road to glory. My main account, which I will try and compete on, is a new gen only. I'm now playing old gen on my road to glory. Lots of people have been asking me to talk more about old gen. I appreciate a lot of my viewers are old gen players, so moving forward, I'm going to be playing old gen exclusively for my road to glory. So I'm going to have a lot more to talk about old gen in videos. In this video here, we're looking at players at different budgets. We're going to talk about whether they're on old gen or new gen one, and I'll explain why they're good. Now, in the new FIFA, you can have 5 subs. So it makes them even more important. Pressing's really good on this game. So having subs to bring on when your players start to get tired is good. Earlier on in the game as well, when players don't have as high stamina, subs are more important, especially when it comes to things like FUT Champs, when you might go to extra time. The budget, like I said, there's a few players in here around 50 to 100k. Those are for more pay-to-win teams. Super subs are always going to be opinionated as well. The way I look at it is they have to be really good in a certain area because you don't get chemistry. You get 0 chemistry for a sub. So when you bring them on, this player has to be really good at something to make you want to use them, basically. Because you can't boost the stats with the chem styles. And I tend to have key positions that I want to sub out more. I normally want to sub at least 1 striker, so I've got pace up front. I want to sub out my wingers, so I've got a lot of pace out wide. 1 midfielder, and then I've got a centre-back just in case I get a red card, and a full-back in case he's really tired. So let's get into it then. Centre-backs is the first. Pretty awful technically when it comes to the passing and shooting, but he's so good at dribbling and pace. He's got good strength. He's 5-star, 4-star. He's really good out wide if you bring him on. He's only a few thousand coins right now. Muriel is 4-star, 4-star, which is really nice. Generally speaking, we're going to want attackers who have good weak foot and skill moves. Muriel's like 900 coins. Centre-backs, by the way, is definitely more of an old gen player, but he's probably viable on new gen, to be fair. Muriel can play old gen or new gen really as a super sub. Very good all-round stats, a very good card for an 82. And of course, you could go for his inform if you want a bit of an upgrade. That's still a very cheap card. And obviously, you might want to be using your red picks as super sub. So for me, I got Correa on my pay-to-win account. He is really good. Would I be spending 50 grand on him compared to some of the other ones? Probably not. But as a free card, I'll use him. So check out your red card and see if any of those are good. Rafinha, more of an old gen one. He feels a little slow on new gen, honestly, which is a bit of a shame. But similar to centre-backs, not quite as good on the ball, but better passing, bit better shooting, better all-round physical. He's 4-star, 4-star. Rafinha's very good and cheap now. Chiesa, really good card on this game, very well rounded. He's like 3,000 coins. Use him new gen or old gen, I would be saying. Coleman, definitely more an old gen player. He lacks the weak foot, but on old gen, when you bring him off the bench, he's got really good pace. He's cracked on the ball. He's got the skill moves, solid passing, below average shot, but not the worst. He's going to cause troubles though, but I wouldn't use him on new gen. Carrasco, very well rounded, can play either version. Bit like Chiesa really. I probably prefer Chiesa. I think Chiesa's cheaper, but Carrasco is a solid all-round card. If he gets an inform or two, it'll be amazing. Son, one of the more expensive ones, definitely more of a pay-to-win team player to have, but I think Son's really good value off the bench. He already has elite finishing. He's quick. Can do old gen or new gen. He's just that well-rounded. 5-star weak for off the bench. Son is really good. A lot of pros that I play against in the elite division use Son off the bench because for his stats, not having any chemistry off the bench, he has the finesse shot too. He is a really, really elite attacker for the price. And 70k for if you have a team worth like a few mil, 70k to have a really good attacker coming off your bench isn't bad. Zeko. Now this is the most expensive card comfortably in this video, but the reason I'm putting him on here is he is outrageous off the bench on new gen. Old gen definitely wouldn't recommend him. He's still decent on old gen, but on new gen with that lengthy archetype, which he gets off the bench, really good strength, 5-star weak foot, elite shooting, and he is rapid. That is crazy pace to have off the bench for a lengthy player. He is insane. He's got the finesse shot trait. This Dzeko on Thursday, I think when prices have dropped probably the most for rule breakers, I'm going to buy Dzeko and use him as my super sub this weekend for my main account. Like I say, he's very expensive. I won't be recommending him for most teams, but I think he's a very good option for a really expensive new gen team. Soloff, again, not an old gen player, too clunky, won't feel as quick. You could use him on old gen, he still would be okay, but he definitely excels more on new gen. Just a worse Haaland or Dzeko, really, but a very good card still with some of the crazy stats on there. Now looking at midfielders. For midfielders, they're not generally going to excel as much in any particular area. I more just want them to be all around good and not have a major weakness coming off the bench with 0 chem. Weak foot skill moves is preferable. I tend to prefer the bigger players. Fofana's really good, 4-star, 4-star. Great physical off the bench. That strength's really nice. If you're running all-out press as well for the rest of the game, he's got the stamina for it. Decent on the ball, very solid all-round stats, pretty big. He's pretty good value. Tonali, he's a few thousand coins. Again, just another very well-rounded card. The midfielders, there's not really going to be anything too exciting about them. Just all-round solid, good replacements light on. Milinkovic-Savic, he is a bit slower. This is more of a new gen one. On new gen, though, he does get lengthy and has very good stats in other areas. He's my sub on new gen. I wouldn't be doing this on old gen. He's 25k, which doesn't sound cheap, but for an 87 in form, he at some point probably will be worth more than that, purely on the basis of SBCs, and some people might have him as red picks. But that 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, big height at 6'3", great strength. He's a really good new gen card to bring on. Feels a little clunky, but most players do, but he's physically dominant. Goretzka, more of a pay to win one again. Could play old gen or new gen. Very good all-around card, Goretzka. He's honestly one of the top 10 midfielders, debatably, in the game right now, if you don't include all the icons. 4-star weak foot, tall, just can do a bit of everything off the bench. Davies, he is the most expensive fullback one we've got, but he's like 25 to 30k. Old gen or new gen, he's crazy. Really solid on the ball. Absolutely rapid pace off the bench, which is really useful. He's definitely insane value. He's one of the best value players in the game, to be honest, right now, being like 25k. 25k for this card is really, really good. Great links as well if you're going to start him, but obviously off the bench, he's getting 0 chem, but he's very good with the 4-star, 4-star too. Cuadrado, more of an old gen player, I think, because he's got the pace and good on the ball. A little bit weak, though, and a bit small, but he's got skill moves weak. For Cuadrado's a nice player to bring on. Spinazzola, old gen, new gen, either's fine. He's very quick. 4-star, 4-star's nice. He's decent on the ball, good all-round card, solid defending awareness. And him and Cuadrado are like a few thousand coins each max. Frimpong, more of an old gen again. Really small and weak, but rapid and great on the ball, which will work more on old gen. And then for centre-backs, these can go old gen, new gen, whatever you want. I've not picked a load of centre-backs. Centre-backs, you're so rarely ever going to sub these on. In my main teams, I just sub on. I just put my midfielder there, like my defensive mid. I have Kessie on my road to glory now, and Baby Vieira on my main. If I was ever to get centre-back off, I'd just put them in there. But if you don't have that type of option and you want to sub a centre-back on, it's worth having one of these on the bench. Klosterman, Gvardiol, Kimpembe, they're my options. They're just very good physical. Klosterman's not, to be fair, but he's rapid. But these two have very good physical stats. They're quick enough off the bench without a chemistry style to boost the pace. Solid all-round cards, and they're not really that expensive. So I think these are really good options. Hopefully that's giving you some insight into how I use subs on this game, my thought process, and then I've given you a range of options from pay-to-win accounts all the way to accounts that can only afford discard cards. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching this video. Let me know who your favourite super subs are. I appreciate you guys. The support of the channel has been nothing short of sensational. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, keep it spicy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.